I've been on go, I've been in gold mode. Nobody's stopping me. Ain't nobody hot as me. Can change up the prophecy, no. I'm going out of control. Your girl is watching me. She talk about me constantly. Though she be wanting me, whoa. They told me slow my roll, but see that's a problem for me. I'm about to pick up the speed, turn up the heat. 1,000 degrees.
Wavy, how you doing? Let's go.
Hey, it's definitely a go mode Sunday. I'll tell you that.
We were in go mode, and we are in go mode. It is madness out here. If you guys cannot see, we are in full swing right now. Got that Denver, got that Mello, represent Syracuse. Shout out, even though y'all lost last night, still a good run, Mello. You already know he's still playing in the league, and we got a classic,
bro.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's a baller.
Welcome to the PayDirt podcast,
man.
Shout out Kobe, Donnie, the Don father.
Listen.
Let
like
me
you
see
said.
that. Let me see that freshness.
This is an ultra throwback right here. Throwback.
The high school, the Kobe
Rest
high
in
school.
power. You already know. Rest in power, Mr. Bryant, Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. It's funny because, like you said, shout out to Syracuse. Unfortunately, they lost last night. This March Madness tournament to Houston. Carmelo's old alumni. But hey, Kobe, shout out to the West Coast, UCLA.
Yeah,
they busted some ass tonight against Alabama.
They did.
I gotta get Alabama colors on right now too, man.
It's very rare to see an upset this late in the tournament. They're going to the Elite Eight. That's wild, dude.
Hey, man, it's definitely been an unexpected year with this March Madness. Some people do like to disrespect it. They're calling a lot of these teams Mickey Mouse teams. Teams.
And then they're getting beat by them.
Exactly. So it's like you can't say much. At the end of the day, these college players, they have to put the money where their mouth is.
Exactly.
But at the same time, no. I mean, it's always going to be let the best man win. I'm sure if it was a series, most of these teams that were supposed to win probably would have won. But this is one and done, man.
This is one and done. This is the big dance. I mean, we were talking about that before. Gonzaga, 29-0. They played Creighton. They whooped that ass. Michigan, they tore up Florida State. UCLA, that was a battle. Overtime. UCLA, they had to go through some adversity. They're an 11 seed. That is wild.
Man, it's going down right now, and
they had to play to get into the tournament.
They did.
Oregon State. We were talking about that today.
Number 12 seed, Oregon State also.
They were predicted to be last in the Pac-12, and they are now in the Elite Eight.
That just says a lot.
And now UCLA is too.
Yep.
Wow, Pac-12.
They ain't the only California team too, man. Pac-12 is definitely doing its thing. But you
Oregon and USC.
USC is playing right now.
USC is right now.
Exactly. And we just had Oregon State balling out at number 12
isn't
seed.
Oregon and USC, aren't they both in the Pac-12?
That's
wow.
Listen, I guess there's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. Oregon is playing USC right now. They are a Pac-12 team. A lot of Pac-12 teams in here right now. Oregon just losing by 3 at Live and Direct on TBS right now. 23-19. USC's top. And hey, man, we'll see what UCLA does with that. They also overtime game, very good game, but UCLA definitely they started to take that lead even further doing that overtime.
Bro, they ended up winning by 10 in overtime. That's against a number 2 seed in Alabama. They came up kind of out of nowhere. People were like, number 2? Okay. Well, we didn't realize SEC basketball was that elite. But also a big surprise, the Big Ten. I had Iowa in my bracket, so obviously my bracket got busted. I can't really win anything. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, Michigan is in there right now. Yeah. Juwan Howard has them playing really well. They just beat up on Florida State. That was good to see. Donnie, in the NFL, my dude, free agency. A lot of things have happened in the NFL. We are the PayDirt podcast, so we definitely have to touch on a couple things. NCAA March Madness. Donnie, who did you have in your bracket? I remember last time when we were talking, you didn't do an official bracket this year, right?
Pretty much, that's correct. I did. I call it air brackets. I air dropped the bracket. I looked at the game before they started and just called it right then and there. And I tell you right now, I kind of threw that air bracket in the garbage. Because even for each game, for most of the try to guess, it just wasn't happening. Like you said, there's been a lot of upsets. So
yeah, wow, this has been, I think, the most upsets they've seen. I mean, you have a 12 and 11 in the Elite Eight. That I think is history in itself as well. It's wild. And speaking of the NCAA, unfortunately, we do have to talk about this. Two things. You saw how the women's weight room and their courts and everything were set up, Donnie. That goes to show you, even though they don't bring in the same amount of money, like, hey, come on, we're the people that are like, oh yeah, we're using this money wisely. It looked like a hotel room gym in a low class motel that they were using one dumbbell rack. I'm like, do you guys think girls don't lift over 100 pounds? I'm like, that's kind of fucked if you ask me.
Yeah, and I can definitely see why they were upset. I think that gym that they had was really looking like a Fisher Price one to me, in one way or another.
It was wild.
Looked like that little play weight set you have back in the day. But I'm glad just the NCAA they reacted pretty quickly to that and was able to fix that and get them a real gym. And I'm not sure, was all the women's basketball team staying at the hotel? Because if that's not the case, then were they also okay?
And their courts were Mickey Mouse. They're really Mickey Mouse.
Worse than a YMCA, but it was definitely unfortunate.
Worse than a WMCA. Unfortunately.
I mean, WMCA. We go from WMCA
or YWCA. Yeah, you get it.
There you go. Yeah, we know. For if you know, you know. That's all I have to say.
If you know, you know.
But speaking of the YMCA, I mean, UConn out here is definitely the opposite of that. The UConn women's team is most likely again.
They are monsters. Absolute monsters.
They definitely been on a hot streak, man. So we'll see what happens with this women's NCAA tournament. I already told you with my air bracket, it wasn't the most appealing looking one in regards to it. But at the end of the day, this year has definitely been some surprises. And now Timbo Slice, I have to ask, man. A lot of little NFL moves going on behind the scenes, big moves, but they're moves in smoky mirrors right now. How do you feel about what's going on?
San Francisco, the Eagles, and the Miami Dolphins? Remember what I was talking about, having the draft capital. So basically, do you remember this is going to be a good transition. Larry Tunsil, so who the Dolphins traded to the Texans. They basically traded him and got 4 or 5 first round picks for him. Do you remember Larry Tunsil was the guy before the draft? He posted a picture of him in a gas mask with CBD. He was the guy that did that, and he got in trouble, and he got drafted by Miami, even though he did that.
I'm gonna have to Google that one right there, sir.
Yeah, Miami turned him into 4 to 5 picks. He even tweeted Miami like, "Yeah, you're welcome." He basically got turned into 4 or 5, and he's a really good lineman for the Texans, dude. Doing that, now the Miami has a lot of draft capital that they're probably going to give back to the Texans. I feel like this is a move to either get Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, or make some really huge splashes in the draft. I would be surprised. I think as the draft comes up, Donnie, and we talked about this, we're going to see a big draft day trade, and I think it's going to be a quarterback.
Definitely. And I can see that there. It's just a matter of like who and where. That's the major question. Especially with San Fran just moving to pick 3, it makes you wonder what they're going to do. What they going to do with Jimmy
Zach
G?
Wilson. I think that the Jets. There was no telling if they actually called the Jets, but they're trying to move either 3, 4, or 5, and they want to take Zach Wilson. But also the Jets and Robert Saleh, they were at his pro day. Now, speaking of pro day, speaking of pro days, there was a deal done at the Farvo at Zach Wilson's pro day. There was that shit with the San Francisco Eagles. Dude, I gotta see that trade because that was wild. The pro days are actually usually more business and draft. the draft, the Dolphins moves with the Eagles and San Francisco. Eagles, they wanted to move up to get Zach Wilson. That was a rumor, which is wild. And now it's coming out that Hurts is not safe in Philly. And then San Fran, as soon as they move up to 3, they call Jimmy G. They're like, yeah, don't worry, you're not being traded or anything like that. And it comes out the Pats aren't trying to get Jimmy G today and whatnot. But I'm like, you got to call your quarterback after you move up in the draft. That's kind of suspicious. Jimmy G's their quarterback for now.
I agree. I feel like there's two sides to that though, because at least as an organization, as a general manager, they are communicating that to the player. You don't have to worry, because I think that's what Aaron Rodgers was pissed about. If you think about it, do you think Aaron Rodgers was still pissed if the Packers actually informed him that they're going to end up drafting
Jordan Love,
Mr. AKA Goldilocks?
Oh man,
I think if they communicated that would have been a little bit different, because now Aaron Rodgers is kind of talking like, hey, I'm a Packer, but we'll still see what happens. The spirit isn't there. But I definitely agree with what you're saying, man. I think with just San Francisco moving up and just Jimmy Garoppolo, them communicating that to them is a little head scratching. But
I think that they're taking a quarterback and they're looking to get something back from for Jimmy G, probably another first rounder to get a weapon or a defensive player as well.
Do you think Jimmy G he's on the gurney right now, about to go into the EMT?
If not this year,
one-way
definitely
ticket out of
next
San
year.
Fran.
If not this year, definitely next offseason.
I could see that. I think though
Jimmy
G
he gets hurts a lot, so you're gonna see Zach Wilson get out there and be NFL ready, because they're saying he's better than Justin Fields right now, and I haven't seen Justin Fields pro day, but I would rather look at the highlights. I think the pro day, like when I was speaking before about it being more business, the pro day, you're not going against anybody, like no defense. You're going with receivers you probably know, so it's not realistic. Like it's
kind of like a combine in one way.
It's like can he make this throw? Can he do this that? I'm like, okay, but I would rather study the film against whoever he faced, like under pressure as well. How does he do under pressure? Am I going to have to get him five-star lineman, or can he move out of the pocket and be versatile? Zach Wilson, they said he's like he kind of reminds people of Aaron Rodgers, the way he rolls out and can sling it.
Hey man, that's for sure. That's for sure. And
do you really think San Fran, like, what do you think they do with that number 3 pick, and what do you think also that with the Dolphins? What do you think they're doing with that? Do you think they're loading up for Deshaun or Russell, or do you think they're just like, listen, here you go? They ship Tua off to Seattle. You know, everything's fine and dandy. They trade with Chicago. You know, for
no lie.
Dalton.
I don't even for real, man. That would be pretty epic. That would be pretty epic. I think San Fran, man, I think they're going with a wild card. Whatever's presented that draft day, that's what they're gonna do with that number 3 pick. I think at the end of the day, they can get Zach Wilson, but at the same time, those kind of contradicting what they stated to Jimmy Garoppolo. If they try to get a quarterback this season, it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna contradict that a little bit too much. So I feel like they could switch it up. I mean, with San Fran right now, I think they still kind of need that
switch it up.
That main running back now. I mean, exactly.
Switch it up. And San Fran has
Robert Moore.
Well. They run really well, so like they don't necessarily, and they have a great defense. They don't need a crazy quarterback, but having Zach Wilson, someone who can get out of the pocket and be versatile to get to the weapons. I mean, they don't have Kendrick Bourne, but they still have an explosive offense. They need someone that can get out of the pocket and just make those throws. Zach Wilson has one of his strengths is arm strength.
Yeah. I mean, when you got the main number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, complimenting how that man, Mr. Zach Wilson, did doing the pro day, that's saying a lot. If another player who's in the same position as you, who's supposed to go number 1, and he's impressed by what you're doing, you think it'll be all about him that time. But for Trevor Lawrence to kind of praise what Zach Wilson did that pro day, man, it's definitely saying a lot. So.
Yo, and someone was saying the other day, which is it's just funny because you get takes and all this. Obviously, it's the off season, so I don't remember what sports show I heard this on, but it was like, what if the Jaguars draft Trevor Lawrence, and that is enough to trade to Houston for Deshaun and whatever else. They get you Deshaun Watson to the Jaguars. Urban Meyer gets Deshaun Watson and then sends Trevor Lawrence to the Texans, and Trevor Lawrence will has a run game, has Mark Ingram, has Philip Lindsay, has people down there. I was like, really trade them smart. Right in the except for he's gonna have to face they're gonna have to face the Jaguars because they're in the same division, and he's gonna burn them twice a year.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I was like, that seems a little wild to me.
And I guess that's the wild card in one way or another. I mean, that's the option that they could do if they did it. Hey, go be it. We'll see what happens. But if the Jaguars end up just getting Trevor Lawrence to kind of switch up for Deshaun, who do you think that's going to benefit more? It's kind of like a 360 deal in one way or another.
Oh, the Jaguars without a doubt. They signed they've been signing like everybody.
So because he's a rookie, he'll be a liability basically still.
Yeah, I mean they have Laramie Tunsil like we were talking about before. Wow, we just brought that full circle. So Laramie Tunsil, he's probably there to protect Trevor Lawrence. But I don't think there's a way Deshaun stops there. And obviously with everything going on, we hope justice is served, everything like that. But I did hear, it's just a little strange. Like we said, Cal McNair lives next to this lawyer. There's 15 people. Nothing was reported before. We just hope justice is served with that, and we hope Deshaun, whatever happens to the full extent of the law,
served fairly.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know where justice was served as well was UFC260, bro. Francis Ngannou over Stipe Miocic, bro. That
had him out like a light.
Rocked him
out like the light. In round two, about a little under a minute left. It's so crazy because I was trying to watch that fight live. I didn't get a chance to. But right when the fight was over, literally when I actually got a chance to sit down and see if I can actually watch it, I was like, damn, he got him in round two. After I watched the first round,
man. Damn.
The first round looked like that man, our man Francis was gonna go down. He was a little bit shaky that first round.
Yeah, and Tyron Woodley, he got submitted, yo. I don't know what's up with Tyron Woodley. He looks like he's losing his luster, man. And then Francis Ngannou, he absolutely
kind of sound like this guy Conor McGregor. Just
poof, he just popped Stipe Miocic. That was dope. Like that was really, as far as fighting concerned in UFC, that was a great fight. I'd love to
heavyweight champ. I mean, heavyweight champ.
Two guys going at it.
That's a big
heavyweight.
Right
you're gonna get knocked out. Like there's gonna be a knockout. You're gonna see that in like submissions and shit. I love it, dude.
You gotta respect the big dogs, man. Because the big.
Did you see Sean O'Malley, bro? As well, like seeing him. He thought he had the dude 2 or 3 times because he's used to knocking people out in the first round. He's a dude with the colored hair, and he had it like pulled back last night. Whoa. But yeah, he had it. Speaking of hair, pulled it back, and he thought 2 or 3 times that he finished them, but he didn't, and he had to get up, keep fighting. He ended up finishing them in it says here round 3. And I didn't stay up for that fight. I just watched the highlights just because your boy Timbo's an old man. But yeah 3:52 left in the third. Yeah, exactly. Third round. Then the women. I mean, there wasn't anyone really noteworthy on the women. Miranda Maverick defeated Jillian Robertson, unanimous decision, 30-27. Jamie Malarkey defeated Kamala Worthy via KO in the first round with 46 seconds left by a punch. Damn. Yeah, man. UFC. I love UFC. Did you see too that at the end of the fight of Ngannou, Johnny Bones Jones was like, showed me the money, and they asked Dana White about it, and Dana was like, Yeah. We're trying to protect. Why doesn't he start going up to 85? And Johnny Bones Jones is like, I'm the champ. I'm the champ of all the divisions. Like, he's got to go to my division. What do you mean?
Nah, that's real talk. That's real talk. I didn't get a chance to see that, but if he did,
I saw that last night. I laughed my ass off when I saw that this morning. Actually,
dude's just hungry right now. Dude's just hungry. I mean,
that ass though.
Johnny too. I put some money on Johnny. That's a bad man right there.
Yo, he really is he's a killer. He's a killer. He definitely deserves for somebody to go up to him because he's the goat of the whole thing right now. Like
that's a fact, man.
He is the best fighter in every considering every division. If you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Yep.
And Ngannou deserves to go up to him. You don't come down for him like that. I feel like that's disrespectful, but that was probably to fire Johnny up to do something.
Exactly.
Shout out Rochester. That's where Johnny Bones Jones is
from.
Rock. Chandler Jones. Yo, bro, his brother Chandler Jones is on the Cardinals. Now we're going to be talking about the Cardinals.
Family of athletes.
Every episode, I think we're probably going to be talking about the Cardinals just because of what they're doing. I mean, free agency, there wasn't huge moves this week, really. Donnie, is there one that was notable to you that you liked and you saw?
Hey man, there's definitely a few out there. I say the biggest one. I know we spoke on our boy Kenny last week. I was sure happy to do that. I'm still kind of drooling over that one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just glad my Giants they got a nice weapon for my boy Danny Dimes. But if I had to choose anything, man, I might have to go with. You mentioned the Cardinals now. You mentioned the Cardinals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're doing Malcolm a lot.
Butler. I think they just got Malcolm Butler actually, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
yes, they did.
And besides, I think that's the best one because Sammy Watkins. I mean, he went to the Ravens with a little 1 year deal.
Oh yeah. That did happen. What am I saying? So Sammy Watkins going to the Ravens. So the Ravens and Lamar don't get a true number one, but he replaces Willie Snead, who actually went to the Raiders this week as well. I remember that.
That's right. And it questions you though. Is Sammy even worth $6 million? He's coming off an injury.
It's a 1 year deal.
It's a trial. It's a trial period.
Yeah,
it's a trial period.
It's the 30. What wide receiver wants to play in the 32nd ranked passing offense? we're have in the fantasy football. Oh, by the way, we also have to mention this 17 games now. 17 game season. That media deal, we all get an extra. An extra game? Did you see good old Alvin Kamara? He said, "Now that's a bunch of dumb shit.
Dumb as hell.
That's dumb as hell." My guy.
Alright, man. Like he's just being honest, being blunt, being honest.
Yeah, he's being
17.
Real. He probably
won't
play in that 17.
As a fan,
I love it.
Exactly.
Do it for us, but it's because too they probably don't get paid necessarily any more for that 17th game,
and that's mainly what it is. But
so their contract is spread out a little bit more.
Exactly. I think it's just business. I feel like there's still going to be a balance with it. There's still going to be a balance with it, and one way or another. But I'm not going to complain against 17 games. I get it with players though. This with money wise,
exactly.
And it's a longer season. You got to bang up your body for another week. But shit. What is that going to do to you at the end of the day?
Yeah, they didn't give any more buys or anything, but it's like, I mean, come on. Man. Hey, listen, I know you guys are making a lot of money in endorsements and shit, and also the TV deals and the different bonuses. They're probably, think about it this way, and I was just thinking about this. If they have incentives in their contract, that 17th game is now important. That could be the difference between you making another $1 to $5-6 million depending on the contract.
That's a fact.
For someone like AB, that's going to be really important. Did you see actually that this happened as well? This is big news in the NFL. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are all back.
22 starters, Leonard Fournette,
which is wild.
Last one to become part of the original gang, man. The 2P gang. I'm calling it here. two-peak gang back in business. It's crazy, man.
So, and Antonio Brown is still probably going to sign back. I mean, this is wild, my dude. This is wild.
Hey.
And did you see Jacoby Brissett signed down with the Dolphins? That was the week prior, but like that Will Fuller's down there. I mean, it's going to get real interesting down there. I think as well. It
definitely is. And to be honest with you, defense wins games, and the Buccaneers defense hasn't really changed at least one bit. But you got to think
all 22 starters, bro.
Who did the Buccaneers faced one of the most elite offenses last year just to get to the Super Bowl. And
Aaron Rodgers in the MVP.
Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. Patrick Mahomes, come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's big right there. That's big. But we'll see what the Buccaneers do. It's kind of crazy though. Speaking of badasses, there's a real badass. I'm not sure you heard about the New Saints with their cornerback Marshawn Lattimore.
Yo, what, my guy? What are you doing,
bro?
Sean,
listen, I get it these days.
Come on.
I get it these days. A loaded gun. So, hey, at the bare arms, go ahead. If you need to protect yourself, go ahead. But stolen, head scratch right there. How are you gonna have a stolen loaded handgun on you? If y'all didn't hear, Marshawn Lattimore got arrested a couple days ago for having a loaded and stolen handgun on him. We'll see what happens with the story and how this develops and what happens with him.
Yeah, like, my dude, what are you doing? You probably just messed up your career right there.
It could be worse. You could be Plaxico at the same time.
Yeah, but then again, Plaxico played after, and he also won a Super Bowl.
That's true, and I believe Plaxico did about 2 years. Good old slammer, but who knows what Marshawn Lattimore get? He can get time for this also, especially with a stolen handgun.
He might unless it was in New Orleans, and then they're like, hey, listen, pal. You know,
true. His bomb's only.
You got to do a lot of community service.
Yeah, if you got money, money talks. His bomb was only 5,000, so that's just saying something.
5,000. He literally he probably had that in cash in his pocket.
Right in his pocket for real.
He was like.
He had that on his Apple Pay.
Basically, Apple Pay. He was like, "Can I Venmo the court or what's good?"
One way or another. So we'll see how that story develops. Hey, a lot else going on, man. I know we were speaking about just the trades and what's going on. Just Russell Wilson talk with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it's apparently it's still on. Like, you know, it's nothing to give up on. But I don't think he ultimately goes there. I don't think Andy Dalton ends up in Seattle or anything. But next offseason can get really interesting with Russ, because when Russ he will be a free agent. And I think he will go to wherever he wants to choose.
The surface was already bubbling. The surface been already bubbling.
He'll hang out in Seattle for this year, and then after that he'll go wherever he pleases, because he will get paid again.
Oh yeah. I think any team will definitely trade damn near the whole house for him. To be honest with you, I think that's how great of a quarterback he is. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of trial seasons this year. A lot of these short 1-year deals,
a lot of 2 year. Oh, T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton got he got paid. He got paid from Indianapolis Colts. The Baltimore Ravens were going after him apparently. He turned down a lot of money to go back to Indianapolis Colts, and even Andrew Luck was surprised about it. It was pretty wild, but he's like, yeah, I believe in Carson. Like, he's gonna figure it out. We have an awesome offensive line. We have a great running game. Like, all three running backs are, and they re-signed Marlon Mack, and then Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. They're deep. You can put Nyheim Hines in the slot. You can put Jonathan Taylor in the slot. You can put, you name
Wentz
it.
Wentz is gonna ball out.
I think so.
Wentz is gonna ball out, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited to do our fantasy football, like the rankings and different things too. I'm telling you, fantasy
what
football.
What an extra week too at that. What an extra week, man.
I was thinking of fantasy draft special with all our friends from Old Town Bros, or something like that.
Right.
That would be fun just to have it on the show. So shout out to the boys, Old Town Bros, our fantasy football fam, Triple F.
Definitely, man.
That OTB, Old Town Bros.
Old Town Bros, man. Definitely, we're gonna get it going in fantasy again, and this time we're actually gonna put some real money up. I'm done with the monopoly money. Just saying.
Yeah. I told whoever I was playing the last week, I was like, listen, $5 on every game. We can challenge each other. He was like, all right,
I like that.
Sounds good.
I like that. That's fair enough. And I'll be honest here. I'm an honest guy, man. Unfortunately, I did dang near come in last place for this past fantasy league that we have been in. But I wasn't given my full potential, my full attention, my knowledge, my skill set for the probably 3 or 4 weeks. I had a lot going on in life.
And you moved down to Virginia Beach, bro.
Indeed, I did. So I got a lot of redemption to do for this upcoming year's fantasy.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I am glad I get to do it with an extra game. The players may hate it, but
hey, listen, as a fan, it'll probably be on Amazon Prime. You know, we got that. Amazon Prime is delivering the drone packages.
Sir.
And they're delivering football. We talked about that media deal last week, right?
Yeah, that's right. Big media deal. I mean,
Bro,
big things are going. Big things like Belichick. I gotta say too, because I know we're speaking on just short-term contracts and kind of just the trial season, quote-unquote trial season that could be coming up. I mean, think about it. The Patriots spent almost $160 million just worth of cap room within probably 48 to 72 hours. Signed Cam Newton to that 1-year deal, so 100% that's just a trial season for Cam Newton. See how he does again. But I think we were speaking to Jimmy G earlier, aka porn star Jimmy. That could be his
porn star Jimmy.
Again. Man.
Jimmy.
Keep it PG though. We keep it PG out here. But he be going back to the good old New England area, man. Out in Massachusetts. We'll see what happens with San Francisco.
Yeah, they said they're not trading them, but
allegedly.
It could definitely be not to New England though. I feel like they're gonna put weapons around Cam and give him an actual shot. Because him and Belichick have a really good relationship. That was apparent. Did you see Kenyon Drake from the Arizona Cardinals? He went to speaking of the Cardinals, he went to the Raiders.
Yeah, man.
Went from the NFC West to the AFC West.
That's big because people kind of are sleeping on Derek Carr in one way or another. I think he can always be a great leader and push an offense. Now him having that somebody he can rely on. A kind of a resting stool he can rely on that has so much pressure with him in the pocket. Kenyon Drake is a great addition.
I agree. I think too, coming out of the backfield for Derek Carr. Did you see actually this week too? Marcus Mariota, the backup quarterback for the Raiders. I thought he could have went somewhere to start, but he took a $7 million pay cut, $7 or $8 million. I was like, dude, to be a backup for Derek Carr, like, okay, it must be real good there. I was like, to take a $7 million pay cut, I'm sure some team could use him. I wouldn't mind him backing up in Pittsburgh and also Pittsburgh as well. Tyson Alualu, did you see this? The D tackle, he agreed verbally to a contract with the Jaguars, a 2-year deal, but after clearing cap room and Pittsburgh, they didn't renew Steven Nelson's contract, and Steven Nelson tweeted about it beforehand, and they said they terminated his contract, so there was a little beef there. Wow. But Tyson Alualu, he originally committed to the Jaguars, and because he tested positive for COVID, he couldn't sign the contract. So then Pittsburgh, because they cleared up cap space, were like, "Hey, we'll actually give you another $1 million more," and so he was like, "Okay, I'll re-sign there." And so that's another piece coming back for Pittsburgh, thankfully.
Hey, that's big, man. That's big. It's funny how with Pittsburgh now, it's the biggest rivalry they're saying is going from playing Baltimore, now it's going to be Cleveland. And I think you guys are going to do better.
Cleveland might win the division. That's going to be and Cincinnati. Don't sleep on Cincinnati, here. Bro. They might. I think that's anybody's division, bro. I really do.
True that. It's definitely going to be a juggle. Glad we were able to snatch up John Ross too from his ex team there with Cincinnati. Got New York Giants got some speed now. Just saying,
and some security for sure.
Hey man, I'll take it. And it's funny though too, because that where that leads me to, man.
Oh, speaking of the Browns too, I realized their secondary got a lot better. So I think it's going to be harder to shred them, and their defense just got a whole lot better.
They're going to be nothing to play with.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're going to see The Washington football team, they got so much better. They really did. The Browns. I mean, I think people, they just got better. The New York Giants going all in. I love it. As far as in the NFL, was there really anything else that caught your eyes? As far as important news.
I mean, I really just sit down and just as kind of a businessman in the business mindset, I try to look at these things just with the short term contracts and just how things are transitioning.
These 1-year deals.
These teams are going to look completely different every year. So it's just like,
yeah,
I think it's going to make
next year probably.
Yeah. Give it a couple years, and it's going to be probably the most competitive we've seen the NFL in a while.
The salary cap's supposed to in, I believe, 4 years
it,
go
right?
up to
Or remove
$250. Yeah, it's going to be $250 million, and the cap isn't real anyways. I mean, there's you can kick the can down the road. If the NFL league isn't there in 10 years, then obviously they're not going to get paid that much. Like it's just how it goes, bro.
Man, you ain't ever lied, bro.
Yeah, this shit is wild, dude.
Yeah, man. Baltimore, dude. I gotta say this too. I mean, Baltimore is doing a little bit something. Also, I'm just looking at right now. I didn't notice he did sign Willie Snead again. Willie Snead again for another young 1 year.
I thought the Raiders did.
Excuse me, did I say Baltimore? Oakland.
Yeah.
I can't even get it right. Las Vegas.
It's almost like you said Redskins instead of Washington football team.
That would be just a bit deeper down the hole. Man.
That shit ain't right, cuz.
I'm sorry about that, man. I mean the Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, still the Oakland Raiders to a lot of people, though. Just saying.
Oh, without a doubt, that'll always be home.
Yeah, just to mention that Kenyon Drake too. How you mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll always be home. I'm saying out the black holes over here.
Yeah, you're trying to, bro. Yeah, seeing that. I wrapping up the NFL. I mean, those were some big things. I think also too, another big thing that happened in getting off the NFL talk, the NBA talk. Andre, to a little bit of NBA talk. This is a sports show, people. So we will dive into other sports. We do enjoy the NFL a lot, but we also will touch on things. I mean, you see Denver, Jersey, March Madness. What's going on in the sports world? NBA. Andre Drummond got released from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's expected to sign with the Lakers to join LeBron. That's big.
It
and
is.
Brooklyn. Did you see Brooklyn? I believe they signed someone else as well, other than Blake Griffin. Yeah, I think they had a transaction. Let's see. And then Kevin Durant's out right now.
Yep. Listen, Kevin Durant's out. LeBron James is out. Anthony Davis is out.
Yo, Brooklyn signed LaMarcus Aldridge.
Did they get Aldridge? See,
all that to try and beat Bron.
Beat Bron, and hopefully Bron is going to be healthy. But you know what's going to scare me? I think LeBron's going to be good. Anthony Davis, because LeBron is not going to win this without Anthony Davis.
No, he needs to come back healthy.
Exactly. Point blank period. And I'm kind of scared. So we're already going on almost 2.5 weeks since Anthony Davis has played in the game, and it is called it a minor injury.
Yeah, so, and 2 some weeks, that's not very minor.
Exactly, and that's what definitely has LA Nation a little bit nervous. LeBron's gonna be good, but
are you nervous?
I'm saying we because if you guys didn't know that, I am a LA Lakers fan, aka Kobe Bryant fan. You see what the jersey is right now. He made me a Lakers fan, so I'm gonna say we when I'm talking about the LA Lakers. But yeah. I'm a little bit nervous to answer your question. I think we're gonna be. Yeah,
it only makes sense, bro. It only makes sense.
It does. I mean, the Andre Drummond addition though is definitely needed. That's going to help. Is LeBron able to win a championship with him with that addition?
With Drummond, I think so. I think he'll be because AD is going to be out for a while.
Exactly, but that's what scared me. That's what scared me because if all of a sudden he's not able to play in the playoffs and we got a Andre and LeBron combo, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get done.
But did you see? Speaking of LA, The Clippers, they added Rajon Rondo from Atlanta, and then they sent Lou Williams back to get some lemon pepper wings. Hey, yo. Lemon pepper wings.
Rick Ross voice. Bro, they're moving
that
all
boy
over.
Need a 10-piece.
You know, extra crispy, please.
Extra crispy with that lemon pepper drive, bro.
You know, it's funny, man, though, because Rajon going from LA. Now he just moved from one city to another. Mm-hmm. And be honest with you, what was his name last year? Playoff Rondo.
And he hated that, even though it is.
It was such a compliment, though. It's such a compliment.
It really was.
It kind of just shows because maybe he thought, people have me on the milk carton for the regular season, but I only show up for the off.
Oh yeah. But like playoff Lenny into Lombardi Lenny.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, if you got that trophy in your hand, that's all that matters. But LeBron actually kind of relied on Rondo a lot for this past championship. He
did. Rondo doesn't score a lot of points. He passes the ball though. He plays great defense.
Facilitates very well. I think that's kind of what the Lakers have been missing too, especially with Anthony Davis going out, kind of.
Actually,
the chemistry.
Andre Drummond, he did sign with the Lakers. It is official now.
It's official. Okay, I know they're saying at first the New York Knicks was going to be a forefront for him.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon got he got traded to the Denver Nuggets, I believe, as well. He's a high flyer. Yeah, because he's the only person to get multiple 10s in a dunk contest and not win it. Thanks, Dwayne Wade. You mother.
Yeah, you know what Dwayne Wade said too. He said he called Jordan the GOAT, man. I kind of respect him a little bit more for saying that in one way or another. Knowing LeBron is his best friend, I mean, it's definitely saying a lot. I mean, let's not forget too. Even when we got the Lakers improving, people forget that man Bam
Adupo. Yo, Victor Oladipo.
Yep.
Yo, he went to the Heat. There were some big things going on in the NBA.
Yeah, it definitely was. If I had to put my money on everything, I mean, we can't forget about what Ben Simmons is doing over there with that boy.
Is he making threes now?
His shot has definitely improved. I don't know his percentage at the moment, but I could put money on right now where he was at this season. Last year, where he has this year, is definitely improvement just with a shot rating, 3-point shooting. It definitely has improved. I think Joel Embiid, he just has some more growing to do. But Philly, Brooklyn, LA are all teams to definitely worry about for this upcoming NBA season.
Without a doubt.
And Milwaukee. Shout out to G.
Yeah, how are they doing? I haven't heard a lot about them. Where are they? Let's see.
Now Milwaukee's in the Milwaukee Giannis. To this day, I'm just calling them Giannis.
They're 29-16, so they are doing pretty good. Let's see.
Looks like they're number within the standings.
Oh, they're number 3. They're number 3 behind the Nets, and the 76ers are crushing it right now.
Yes, sir. I mean, the Knicks doing better than usual at this time.
Wow.
At this time at 24 and 22, man. Shout out to the New York Knicks. Ahead of Boston, let me remind you.
Yeah, by 4 spots too.
Oh yeah. And it definitely kind of anticipate what's going on. Wow. Everyone's sleeping on Utah though. Let's not sleep on the Utah Jazz.
You see you see 1, 2, 3, right? If you look in the Eastern Conference in the NBA, you got the 76ers, the Nets, and the Bucks. Look at how many games they're separated by the Knicks. So 29-16 is the Bucks record. That's 13 games. The Knicks are only separated from being 500 by 2 games. That's wild. So that there's a clear cut division in the Eastern Conference there, and then also the Western Conference. Sure. I mean, the Western Conference is definitely better 1 through 6. Then you get to the Spurs and the Mavericks. They're kind of the same, where the same record as the Knicks. So the Western Conference looks to be a little bit better than the Eastern Conference.
I'm not gonna lie, in one way or another. And as you see, the Clippers are trying to have a lot to prove with them at number 3 right now, ahead of the Lakers. But That's crazy. It's just it's like the higher class and just
Speaking of the Knicks,
the bottom
dog,
right here.
Something actually not good happened. There, Knicks Mitchell Robinson, he broke his right foot versus Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, you see,
I hate it had to be him.
Yep.
I hate it had to be him, man.
And the Milwaukee Bucks are also signing Austin Rivers, getting him back, getting some 3-point shots. I like it, dude. Anything else in the NBA, bro? What do you anything else you feel like we should touch on? That's probably good for right now. I'd probably say. What do you think?
Yeah, for the most part, I think we got
anything newsworthy. Anything newsworthy you saw?
We gotta see how this plays out. Newsworthy, we already kind of touched on some of the signings and things of that nature.
Yeah, playoffs. We gotta. We will definitely let you guys know.
And coming sooner than expected. I tell you that. And everyone forgets that. I gotta say though, we can't forget about Mr. Russell Westbrook. He's over there balling out in Washington right now, man.
He is silently.
Silent killer right now. And they just recently beat Detroit. And it's funny, he went for a double-double. And he did it again twice in a row, beating Detroit last week, and then he just played Milwaukee 4 days ago and went for another double-double.
Wow.
Listen, I think Russell Wilson, I know they made that move with John Wall.
Russell Wilson.
Sorry, Russell Westbrook. We're going from one league to another.
So beautiful, Donnie. Let me stop it right there. So Donnie, probably because in Virginia, vitamins are now legal. So he might have had a little bit too much CBD off camera. And speaking of the NBA, they don't test for THC anymore because now in New York, we just got some good news. This is some good pop culture news. Cuomo's trying to save his ass, and he's legalizing recreational marijuana. I think we can all give a big clap to that, my friend. Let's go. Give it.
To the clouds we go.
Vitamins and it's good.
If you know, you know, and if you know, you know. And Virginia
it helps a lot of people,
page.
Man. It helps a lot of people. You know, it helps with their anxiety, their recovery. It helps them just function, live life. Yeah, it was put on this earth, I think, to give back to us. The CBD, the THC Delta 8, the Delta 9, and it's not so taboo anymore. These things are getting much better, and now it can help a lot of people.
Hey, man, it definitely can. I mean, you see, if New York's already pushing for it right now, and Virginia, the state I'm in right now, is pushing for it at the beginning.
They're not pushing for it, bro. It already is. It's already passed.
Not for VA. Well, not till 2024 though.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it was set for 2024.
Is that when all the different shops and pharmacies are coming up?
Yeah, just for it to be recreational legal. It passed, but they were saying not to 2024. But just recently, they said the governor of Virginia is trying to push it now for this year.
Let's go.
Know what I'm saying? So
let's go.
You already know at the end of the day that wasn't stopping some of us. Just saying that wasn't stopping some of us.
No. I've only ever done the CBD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want everyone to do what makes them happy.
Exactly.
And that
freedom.
Exactly, man. And I have to say this because just with the NFL and the players, and now it's going to 17 games. So that's taking more of a toll on their body and what they have to go through.
They need to not test for THC or CBD or anything because it definitely helps a lot more players. They'd rather do that, maybe smoke a joint or take an edible or something to help them with their recovery with CBD and THC, and then
100%.
Then pop some opioids and have volume and all this other shit. They want a natural way to do it, and they've shown that it's
still medicine.
It's
still medicine.
Doing that, it helps with CTE and things like that. I mean, obviously, it doesn't cure it or alleviate, but but it definitely helps.
With a lot of conditions or diseases, cancer and things of that nature, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't help.
Absolutely, 100%.
Literally what you said, it helps COVID, and it just shows you it can go a long way in one way or another. But we know Western medicine, that's something that's kind of just been on the forefront and just pushed in front of us. But people got to remember, this is Earth. This is a green Earth. It's damn near 70% water. So this is nature here, and just know we can get our medicine from nature,
from the earth,
from the grounds, from the
soils. Lord or the universe has provided what we need. We get that vitamin D. Speaking of that, it was real nice this weekend. I mean, it was real nice this week. And also with the NFL and the NBA doesn't test for it, right? The NFL,
MLB doesn't test for it either, I believe. Baseball doesn't test.
And the NFL needs to make sure it keeps doing it. Like people always bring up Josh Gordon. I think he when on his program, from what I've read, it wasn't just that he couldn't drink, he couldn't do anything like that. He had to be very straight edge because it wasn't just weed at the time. And people would be like, "Oh, well, why don't they just stop testing for weed and stuff?" It's like, no, he actually had a problem of like with other substances. It just weed was one of those things that he kept getting caught by. Now, I don't think they test for it, but they do test for the other things that could possibly be in somebody's system.
Yep, exactly. I think it just comes down to a term, just where players got to push for it, and one way or another. And it's funny though too, because looking at Robbie G too, because people forget Robbie G when he retired. That boy Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah,
he was literally crying on the stage. This 6'8" dude, damn near 300 pounds, crying on the stage, just talking about the toll his body took for his whole NFL career, and how much CBD has helped him.
Thank you for your service.
And herbs, exactly. So it's not just him. You know what Ricky Williams did. It tells you it's just.
And it helps a lot of people. Obviously you can abuse anything, but with THC and CBD, the mixture, find what's right for you. It can help it in some form or another. But speaking of something and some things that are far, exactly. I take cold showers now. Something that's far out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point here, we're going to get into pop the culture. A little segment we're going to do, different current events that happened this week, or things we feel as though we should talk about. Well, let's see. So we talked about the NCAA before, and right after this break, we're going to talk about the NCAA admissions scandal that is on Netflix and that has rocked the world. And I'm going to give you guys a little hint if you guys.
It's on Netflix or Hulu. I think it's on Hulu, right?
I don't remember. I know my wife watched it.
It's on a streaming service.
Full House is the only hint I'm going to get you. We will be right back, folks. Right back.
Yeah, man. Too crazy. I mean, we know March Madness is going on with the NCAA and everything that's been going on. But one thing I was just reading about was just that I'm sure we all heard about that whole NCAA admissions scandal.
That new Netflix documentary, bro. Yeah, I mean, obviously that happens all the time. Remember, we were talking about Full House. Talk about a full house that isn't a real house.
Yo, Lori Loughlin out here cutting a check just to get her daughter through a nice 4-year college and make it seem like she's part of the crew team.
She already had like 2 or 3 businesses going, YouTube, makeup. Like it was basically so the parents could say, "Oh, my kid went to a prestigious school."
Bro, that just shows you, man. At the end of the day, this money is talking, and it's talking a lot. Mm-hmm. For the NCAA to kind of have this going through the cracks, slithering through the doors, and not know about it or do anything about it, that says a lot. And like you said, it's definitely probably been something that's been going on for a while. But just the fact that it takes the measure of making
money
their
talks,
kids seem like
Father.
they're athletes.
Money talks,
for real, man. $500,000. I'm still trying to get over that. To
USC. Chump change.
For USC.
Bro, $500,000 is probably what she made per episode on Full House. If you ever looked at Full House, how much each person made per episode, it is a staggering number. She paid for that within less than half a season.
She probably gets paid what a second where people get paid weekly.
Yeah, they get paid $30,000 to $40,000 an episode at least, if
and that's
not
literally almost a couple $100s a second. But bro, for them to be doing that, man, it is ridiculous. And just for it to go to the extent where there's literally just fake athletes trying to make their kids seem like they're actual athlete and take it to the far where they're really like, it's like a TikTok video. Know what I mean?
Pictures, bro,
just deep pictures, filters, and just exactly, man, exactly.
Wild, man.
And that just shows you it really is a full house out here. They had her on the crew team. I know they had another, it's like a very wealthy designer. I'm not even going to pronounce her name, but I'm going to try anyways. Massimo Giannali, definitely a wealthy designer. She went to prison too for a little bit, and she almost cut $1 million just for her children to get into
Did she end up going to jail?
Yeah, yep. She went to prison also. And I guess somehow, some way, she had her children considered to be on the swim team. So
never swam at all.
They probably never even took a bath, bro. They're probably just on yachts. They're on yachts and in jacuzzis and things.
They get washed in the ocean.
For real.
But yo, that shit was crazy. If you guys don't know, it was a full house. Lori Loughlin, she was what was the name of her character on there? Was she Becky?
It might have been Becky.
She was given that Becky for
in one way or another. Hey, I know it wasn't Topanga. That's all I gotta say, because that's a Boy Meets World right there.
Even
Topanga's
Stevens,
one of my biggest crushes.
Oh my God, Topanga, she was wow.
She's one of the top 5.
Boyhood crush, without a doubt.
Definitely was. But she played Rebecca. You're right. It was Becky. So yep.
Becky.
Yep. And I mean, Becky went from damn near Becky the convict within seconds.
Yo,
it's crazy to see.
It's crazy and weird. And yo, there's something else that happened this week, which was wild. I saw on Forbes, so I have the Forbes apps, trying to, get the stocks, the financial information. And then I see something in there, like kind of, their paranormal science section. The FAA, they can't explain a pilot's UFO sighting last weekend over New Mexico. So apparently, the pilot was like, "Do you have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us," said the pilot at 119. He goes, "I hate to say this, but it looks like a long cylindrical, hey, let's go, object that almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing, moving really fast right over the top of us." That was the audio that was published on the aviation blog. The blogger, he intercepted the transmission, and apparently this thing flew right over this pilot, the military pilot in UFO sightings. That happened, and down in Miami, there was also something that went on as well with our friends that are not identified. There was a light formation over at Miami that followed warships as well. Wild, dude, wild. Like the aliens. I mean, at this point, we're just desensitized. We know. And speaking about desensitized, we also need to get into Lil Nas X's Satan shoes. We're gonna get into that, folks. But on the contrary, aliens, brother, aliens.
Am I a believer? Hey, listen, man.
How could you not be, right?
At this day and age, at this rate, and even to just recently with this news with actual official government documents stating that they have even seen extraterrestrial vehicles that they can't describe from government officials, and
that don't even show up on their radar.
Exactly. And with that transcript you just read with actual pilot having no idea what's flying over his head, and no one knows either. And air traffic control is very strict here. Especially flying through the United States. They're on top of things. They know what's usually in the sky.
Yeah, bro, that light formation was following warships down in Miami. It was pretty wild. Apparently, I watched the video. I wish we could put the video up, but copyright. Yeah, it was very unexplained. Seeing that, and then the video with the FAA where that was going right overhead. They had no idea about it. Like, I mean, listen, we are not alone. Sci-fi, paranormal, whatever. Obviously, people can fake things and whatnot, but there's things we can't explain, and there's no way we are alone in this galaxy here.
I mean,
I know we're getting down the rabbit hole.
Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars. That's all I gotta say.
In a parallel universe, like on Rick and Morty, I saw there's probably a dude named Elon Tusk who is like, "No, we shall. You guys cannot come to Mars."
It's like, can we even be citizens there? You never know. People just can pop up in nowhere saying we've been here for years. We're just living under the ground through a parallel universe. That's how much we don't know. Who even knows? There's a good question somebody proposed regarding is can there be a black hole inside a black hole? We don't know. We don't know shit what's out there, man. With this universe, all we know is there's some planets out there, and we don't know how far it goes. So, end of the day, man, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is really possible, bro. It's
funny because we're sitting here on March 28th. This is actually the first one of the first full moons of spring. They call it the worm moon. So that means they call it the worm moon because it's springtime and we're going to start seeing more worms. But it just shows you there's stuff beneath us.
Don Father's fun fact of the day. I did not.
Real, man. Yep, it's the first full moon of spring. The worm.
But
moon,
speaking of something that's also pretty weird that happened as well, is the fact that in the Suez Canal, where there's almost billions of goods going in and out of there, a ship container called the Evergreen got stuck in the side, and no one can get in or out, so people have to go around Africa now, and there's a lot more pirates and stuff, so people are losing a lot of money. There's big shipping containers in there.
I'm still trying to figure this one out, to be honest with you. I mean, speaking of air traffic control, what about some boat control out here? Like, how are we gonna get a big old global cargo ship just stuck in the middle of the canal?
Stuck right in the Suez Canal.
Last I read,
for those of you that don't know it, it's so you don't have to go around Africa, and you can go to North Africa without having to go through. You can actually go through Africa instead of around it.
Yep, one of the main passageways for global trade. And you would think if that's one of the main passageways, they wouldn't have problems like that. But I guess it's a first. It's a first because they've been smooth for years now, from what I heard. But for them being stuck there, and they're saying I think it's going on maybe the third or fourth day. And last I read, it's costing billions, not millions, billions dollars lost of world trade money.
Yeah, bro.
So that just shows you, man. It's like if we're getting a boat stuck in the middle of the canal, we're losing billions of dollars of world trade money, and they're saying we might see the effects soon. We could see the shortages in grocery stores and Walmarts and retail stores.
Yeah,
because there's literally everything on these ships that you can imagine.
There's such a delay.
Right now, those items are on that ship. So, hey, if you go back to people running out of toilet paper, can't even get toilet paper anymore. Just know it's not called Corona. It's because a big ass cargo ship is stuck in the middle of the Suez Canal out in the Middle East in Africa. I don't know how.
I thought you said sewage canal. I was like, that's so disrespectful, bro. What are you doing?
I mean, at this rate, it might as well be because there's no use for it. And they're saying a lot of these companies, in regards to the cargo ships and trading ships, they're paying extra money now because they got to pay more for gas. They're taking the long way. Like you got to think about it. They're saying it's literally about almost 10,000 miles more than what they needed to do in order to get there. Because, like you said, it's a shortcut. They're saying it's definitely taking a big toll on a lot of these companies.
It's wild.
Overhead costs are going to get.
It's just that in general, yeah. It's wild, bro. Also, you know what else is wild, my guy? There's probably some Nike shoes on that fucking canal in those storage containers.
Stuck. Everyone waiting for those Jordan flights and those
no,
Nike
probably
Air
for
Maxes.
the Satan, son.
Hey, man, some customized Nike Air Maxes now. I don't know what this is, ladies and gentlemen. We all know the music artist Lil Nas X. He did a
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road. I'm not even gonna go back to those times, man. In 2019,
Yeah.
But
that was
Lil
back
Nas
in the day.
X, bro, we getting old out here though. So I'm just
Yeah. He was covering. He was covering the eye. He was covering the eye. He was. He was. Also
I didn't even see. I didn't even watch the video, as you know. Speaking of Nike
I only saw the I only saw the picture and I was like, no way, this is real. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh boy, okay.
Customized Nike Air Max
with human blood in them.
What's he calling them? Satan
600
shoes?
Yep, 666 pairs made. I don't know, man. I think that's just Nike said they did not design these shoes or anything like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Customized.
Yeah. He probably had some. He probably had someone customize them.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. I guess it was for his video that just dropped, which is definitely very scary to look at too. Monetero or something like that. I think his new single Monetero is relating to that. But he created some. If y'all don't know, Lil Nas X, the music artist, he did a customized Nike Air Max, basically called Satan shoes, and it literally has the emblem, the star of Satan on top of it. And then it has like one of the scriptures from the Bible that talked about the devil. And he made, like Timbo Slice said, man,
stuff.
Made 666 pair, and they're all selling for like over $1,000. So if he sells all of those, man, it just shows you people are doing anything for money these days. So, but Nike said they had nothing to do. They have nothing to do with this. They don't endorse it. So we'll see what type of impact this has on Nike. I don't think it's going to do anything. They're too big to fail, but.
Oh, yeah. But it also makes sense too that they would allow this or something like this. I mean,
and that's what I said.
Even though I got the Nike logo on, you know what I mean? I'm still like, they didn't do this, but it still looks shady. Like that was one of the things that was trending.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of shady stuff. Even Nike with their executive. I just read something the other day. The executive that just basically quit because her son was starting a resale business.
From Nike
sneakers, and
she got fired. I believe. I didn't think she.
I guess she resigned. I guess.
Did she?
She got to resign before they fired her. Basically, you know how that goes. Because she was one of the top executives. But yeah, her son was basically abusing the employee discounts that she got, and that's how he was getting a lot of those sneakers because he was getting the inside word, and then on top of that, he was getting discounts. And as I say, inside words,
really,
man, since the wet sneakers were about to come.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about this.
Yep. So he had basically first dibs on any sneaker that was about to drop from Nike regarding the Jordans or even the Air Maxes and even some of the Yeezys. Just
he had a leg up.
His mom had exactly. And he was just reselling a lot. I'm sure you guys seen the pictures. I mean, one of his warehouses literally looked like a shoe store, man. He probably had over 2,000, 3,000 pair of shoes. And they're saying he was using that employee discount for a while. And they're saying why didn't Nike seem that was suspicious? But you know how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. You only get in trouble if you get caught.
and there's no repercussions for it. I mean, obviously. They just resign and whatnot. She can't probably work again, but they're probably so set. He probably made so much money off that it don't even matter.
I mean, sneaker industry is a $1 billion industry, man. $1 billion industry.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, that's one of the things that was trending. Dr. Fauci is trending on Twitter right now, and there's not a lot of very nice. There's not
a new wave is coming. Is there another new strain now?
Is it the fourth one or the fifth one? I think.
Don't know, man.
Are we back, Donnie? Are we back? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, but we back?
I say we getting there.
We're pretty damn close. Speaking of that, something that Cuomo put in together that he snuck in, good old. Well, what was it? What was it there? I mean, we talked about the one thing before with the good thing he did. What was the other thing? The something passports or?
Yeah, I mean the New York State Excelsior Pass. I guess it's something that just launched last week.
It's a pass. It's
quote
a
unquote pass.
Really?
Quote unquote
Interesting.
Pass. Yeah, I guess New York State made an app just to prove that you got vaccinated or prove that you took a COVID-19 test and it came out negative in order to get in the business that chooses to want to do that. So if a concert happens and a concert makes a rule where you have to be vaccinated in order to get into it, and this concert is in New York, they'll just use this app to do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right
restaurant
now,
or any type of business, a mall.
That's bullshit, and I truthfully think that was the plan the whole time. But that is just to do that. Oh yeah, it's to make sure everyone's safe. No, it's not. It's just to have another element of control. But they have people so desensitized to it now, with the masks and everything. I mean, listen, people. We try and stay neutral politically, but I'm not an anti.
It's not even a political conversation just yet, though. Yeah. It's not even a political conversation just yet.
But it got politicized.
It can get there. Yeah, it can get
I'm not.
there,
I'm not an anti-mask person. I'm an anti-mask mandate person. Like, listen, if I don't have any symptoms and I feel good, why should I wear it? And if you're getting these vaccines, the first dose, second dose, and you still have to wear a mask and whatnot, then why are you doing that? I know people that got it and still got sick, and I mean, I don't want to be forced to put something into my body that I don't agree with and that I don't believe in. And also, okay, I probably already had this. Like, let's get back to regular life. And some people will argue that the vaccine is the way to get to the regular life. I'm like, absolutely, the people that should get it to protect them, 150,000%. But like, why should I be forced to get it to get on an airplane or something like that? I don't agree with that.
Yep. I mean, hey, 100%. And I think it's just coming down to just privacy and, like you said,
exactly. They put an app on your phone, bro. You showed me that when we did one of our first episodes about the exposure thing that they just put on your phone when it got updated.
You were near, yep. If you're near someone, I just think that people need to do what they think is best for them, but they shouldn't force anything on anyone else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I feel like I just want to be around the people that love me and support me and do things of that nature, and I don't want to deal with anything that can stop that. So it's like, with this going on with New York, New York always trying to lead the way and all that with this new Excelsior pass. Basically going to be a pass to let you into a concert or a restaurant, or so be it.
Yeah, or you have to get a COVID test, and I'm like, but why?
Did you hear what the Miami Heat are doing?
COVID sniffing dogs, right?
That
they were before.
They're gonna start allowing people into their stadiums, their arenas, but they have to be vaccinated. They're gonna have specifically a vaccinated section. So if you're vaccinated, you can come in and watch the game, and everyone that's vaccinated can sit in one specific section. And on top of that too, but they still have to wear their mask. So I swear. So the Heat are going to start doing that. Have fans come in. They'll be allowed to watch the game.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, at this point,
why would I get it if I still have to do all that? So I'm like, I would rather just do none of that and just trust my immune system. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion, and it's it's like me. I'd rather take the effects if I got sick and someone was like, well, if you did this and this, I'm like, well, I did everything I thought best I could do. Like, they're like, oh, parents and grandparents get sick, and I totally get that, but I'm like, okay, why do I have to do all that other stuff if I already got the vaccine? Is it for me? Is it for you? I don't understand it. And obviously we stay in our lane here at the PayDirt podcast. Well, it's a popular issue, and Fauci is a popular issue because the double masking and all the, very, very ludicrous things, and whatnot.
Hey man, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to wake up and do what I please without
exactly and not exactly
without the most.
Just be a human being. I agree. What's trending in your world, cuz?
Hey man, a lot's been trending. I was actually just reading something the other day in regards to just 'cause at the end of the day, everything's a money game. It's a money grab. Everything's a money grab. I even worked for, just to say this, to piggyback real quick, I used to work for the Department of Health, so I kind of knew how things were going on in regards to just COVID-19. I used to work at a hospital, ladies and gentlemen, and it just showed me everything's a money grab, a money game, because in general, most states still charge to get tested for COVID-19. It's like $200. Now, I mean, what? And people, yeah, I swear, bro, people who have the money, they don't care. they'll pay that. They'll do it. And this is something you think that the government or the state would fund, so people won't have to come out their pocket for something that's not out of their control. And it's so just in regards to the vaccination, it's free. But when people are getting COVID-19 tested daily just because their employer required it or things of that nature. So it was a straight money grab, and it shows you money speaks a lot. But
it does.
But it's about getting money, but it's also about keeping money and getting that
and
money.
Seeing it grow.
Exactly, man. People gotta invest wisely. It's crazy because I looked at this article the other day. It was containing my man Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield.
Yes, sir. Vandy Holyfield, man. He made millions first Tyson.
He's got 1 3/4 of an ear of ears.
Hey. Sometimes people are hungry for ears. Ask Mr. Tyson himself. But people don't know Holyfield went broke, man.
Yeah, he did.
He went broke, and I guess just recently too, he ended up selling his mansion. And when I see stuff like this, it just shakes my head because it's just like at the end of the day, I want all my brothers and sisters to make money and be financially literate,
savvy. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And that's the big reason I guess he fought Mike Tyson too for that Triller fight.
Oh yeah, bro, that was dope. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't think he'll fight again. I think Tyson will because Tyson looked good, but Evander Holyfield looked old. He looked
$312 million he blew through. $312 million, lost a fortune. And it says here he's 57-year-old right now. He had many financial woes, and he was earning damn near $100,000 per month just from his boxing revenue, just for them re-airing his boxing matches on ESPN or any type of sports channel. So that's not even including endorsements or anything like that. And they said he even had a restaurant business which cost over $10 million. And he had other products too. People don't know Vandy Holyfield made barbecue sauce. He had a kitchen grill. He made fire extinguishers. And so he I swear, he got into a lot of products and services and things of that nature. And that's where it kind of went wrong. I guess he had all this money and he didn't just straight up spend it. I'll give him that. He lost a lot of his money just from business ventures he was trying to do. So he didn't have the right people around him
he did
for a business asset, a business mindset. And they're saying that he was to the point where he's literally just sold his mansion. He got some money from that Triller fight against Mike Tyson, but obviously it wasn't enough for probably his monthly payments. So he had to end up just selling his mansion recently. And the fact that he has 11 children with 6 different women.
Oh, Evander.
Holyfield is a savage. Y'all didn't know. Y'all know Mike Tyson is a savage, but Holyfield's a savage too, inside and out. 11 children with 6 different women. I don't even want to know what that child support is. That's a crazy expense in itself. But I just came across that, man. It just made me shake my head. Maybe he'll be able to do something in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Listen, man, we look forward to a great week this next week. It's starting to get nicer out, starting to get much warmer where I am and much warmer where you are. I'm looking forward to being outside. Good weather week going on.
Sun's out.
Yep, 61. There might be snow the day after it turns 61, but then it'll be 52, 55. Yeah, I'm ready. We're
from
good.
New York.
Yes, sir. Well, that's the wrap up right now. Anything to say to the listeners, Donnie, before we head out of here?
No, not particularly. I'm just chilling on this Sunday night here watching March Madness. Sweet 16 about to end. USC is up right now against Oregon.
What's the score?
Looks like it's by a solid almost 12 points at the moment. It is 12 points. It's 60-72. USC
Oregon.
USC
is up.
Yeah, USC is up by 12 points with about 3 minutes left here in the rest of the game. So it looks like they'll be moving on to the Elite Eight most likely. I'm not trying to jinx it, but it looks like they're playing pretty solid right now.
Looks like that's what it's going to be, homie.
Yeah, man. So we'll see.
Yeah,
how this March
I'm looking
Madness
forward to
ends.
another day of March Madness and just just enjoying this sports and stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap up another episode of the PayDirt podcast with my guy, the Don Father. This is your boy, Timbo Slice. We appreciate all you who listen. Listen, like, subscribe, YouTube at the PayDirt podcast, Twitter at the PayDirt podcast. Also on Facebook too. I posted on Facebook. We appreciate you all who like, listen, share our podcast. And we hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Appreciate y'all. Later.
Let's get it.